It's Cougar Sports Saturday.
That's caught! Touchdown! Stayed inside the boundary and gets in for 6.
Cougar Sports Saturday, a presentation of KSL Sports.
Ritchie right to the rim, driving score! He would not be denied!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Sponsored by Any Hour Services, Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Your hosts are Mitch Harper and Kyle Ireland. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars, KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Happy game day, Cougar Nation, as Cougar Sports Saturday rolls on here from Cincinnati. Sponsored by Any Hour Services, Electric, Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Mitch Harper, Kyle Ireland with you, watching a good game down in the desert right now, Arizona and Baylor. One of BYU's best wins is the Arizona Wildcats, who are 7-3, looking to improve to 8-3 against a Baylor team that yesterday announced that Dave Aranda is going to stay on as the head coach at Baylor in 2026. I think the Cougs are going to face Baylor in Provo next year, so BYU will get a crack at Dave Aranda once again and that coaching staff. But we'll get a full Big 12 scoreboard update a little bit later in the next segment here on the program, but right now we want to get to know the foe. Nick Niehaus, a Cincinnati reporter and podcaster who hosts Chatterbox Bearcats podcast, caught up with him to get to know these Cincinnati Bearcats who come into the game at 7-3.
Nick, I know these are tough times right now for Cincinnati football, but do you feel that now with Big Noon kickoff coming, maybe the mood is improving after a 2-game skid?
The news on Sunday definitely felt a whole lot better with two things: the Big Noon kickoff and the fact that we play at 8 p.m. So we call that Nip at Night for historic Nippert Stadium, and that has been a big thorn in our side, the fact that we haven't had any night games in forever, it seems. So a little bit took the ball, air out of the ball with the loss against Arizona, but it's a little more exciting with the game time and Big Noon kickoff coming, yeah.
How confident are you, though, Nick, that this Cincinnati team's going to show the fight to turn this around and get out of this little bit of a losing streak?
I'm confident in the personalities that we have on the team. I'm not so confident that we'll be able to get the job done. I think that Satterfield definitely rallies the troops. I think Sorsby's a great leader. That's our quarterback, Brendan Sorsby. I don't think that it's a personality. I don't think it's effort. I don't think it's fight or drive in the team. Honestly, I think it comes down to the X's and O's and stuff. And honestly, frankly, I don't think we had that on Saturday against Arizona.
You brought up Brendan Sorsby, and again, talking with Nick Niehaus, Chatterbox Bearcats podcast. You can follow him on X at Nick Niehaus _ on X. Sorsby went into the medical tent for a little bit in that Arizona game. His production's dropped off, it seems like, in recent weeks. What do you attribute that to?
It could be two things. It could be the fact that we're just playing better defenses, or it could be the man coverage. That was one thing that we talked about in the post-game show, is that, we just had two teams that had really highly efficient defenses with Utah and Arizona. And you look at the stats from Sorsby, and they're quite honestly, they're pretty terrible. So Arizona, 15 of 28, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Utah, 11 of 33, 221 yards, 1 pick, 1 touchdown. I mean, it's kind of like weird because we're so late in the season and we're like, do we really know how good Brendan Sorsby is? I'm somebody who was, hyping him up for the Heisman halfway through the season. And then, of course, he plays 2 really good defenses. And, the production absolutely falls off a cliff. So it's like, is it him? Is it the wide receivers not getting enough separation? Because, Arizona has really good DBs. So it's kind of funny that we still don't know how good our quarterback is, and we're this late in the season.
When he is at his best, though, where are his strengths as a quarterback in the Cincinnati offense?
He's one of the toughest guys I've ever watched play quarterback at Cincinnati. He really is. Like, he's somebody that he has a cannon for an arm. He's pretty accurate, and he also will run right through you. There's one play against, I guess that was who was it? Iowa State or whatever. He just broke somebody's ankles. And he also, Nebraska, when the passing game wasn't working, and that, granted, that was a loss week 1 at Arrowhead Stadium, but you just saw him running through guys. So honestly, I attribute to his toughness, his drive to win. Like, he is a true born leader at quarterback. And if it's not going through the air, he's somebody that can run it as well. But No, I need to see some separation from the wide receivers to give Sorsby a good look against BYU.
Yeah, you bring up Sorsby's ability to run, second leading rusher behind Tawi Walker at his first 100-yard game last week. Evan Pryor's been out, though, the past few games. Any hope that Pryor maybe plays this week?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just hard to tell. It's early in the week. I mean, he was questionable last week before being ruled out. We need Evan Pryor because it's they call it cliche, the whole thunder and lightning thing, but you saw it with Tawi Walker. He broke out 2 huge runs against Arizona, and he just didn't have the breakaway speed to finish the runs. He got through the line of scrimmage, broke through the secondary, and they just caught up to him. Evan Pryor is not somebody that, many teams are going to be able to catch up to. So having Evan Pryor would be huge. I really do like what I see from Tawi Walker. He is brute force, but he's just not the speedster that we have with Pryor.
What is the strength of this team right now, Nick? The 2-game losing streak, it can be easy to pile on, but this has been a much improved Cincinnati team in year 3 in the Big 12 compared to the previous 2 seasons in this league. What is the strength when they're playing at a high level?
At a high level, the strength of the team is the quarterback. It's Brendan Sorsby. When we were beating up on the middle tier teams in the Big 12, it was really getting it done, with Sorsby's arm and his legs. Like, he is somebody that I just think that they need to rally behind. Here's the issue is, going into the season, this is a team that we thought we had 4, true NFL guys with Brendan Sorsby, Joe Royer, Dante Corleone, and Jake Golday. And they just haven't given Joe Royer the ball. So I would love to say that, it's the fact that we are star-studded, but, you play 2 better teams with Arizona and Utah, and the strengths haven't been strong, for lack of a better way to say it. I would say that it's, the fact that it's dynamic on offense when we're beating up on those kind of middle tier teams, the fact that, we did get it done with running and passing, but it just hasn't come to fruition lately.
What's the weakness of this team in the losing streak, but over maybe the course of the season that you feel still feel like that's an area of concern heading down the stretch run?
A lot of Cincinnati fans really hate the defensive scheme, the 3-3-5. We haven't gotten a ton of pressure on the quarterback. The main thing that I look at is that we just give so much cushion on defense. Like, there was a gotta-have stop with 3rd and 5 late in the game against Arizona with about a few minutes left, down 3. You get a stop. They're out of field goal range. And we just give 7 to 8 yards of cushion. And it just makes no sense to a lot of these people. And they call it a bend, don't break defense. We'll give up a ton of yards, but then we'll stuff you in the red zone. The defense has been okay, but it's something about the whole, lack of just covering guys that bugs me and bugs a lot of our fans, frankly.
Are fans in Cincinnati liking the job that Scott Satterfield has been doing this year? I'm sure that's been a hot topic on your podcast. You probably have to address all the time. But 7-3, I mean, that record alone, if you'd played the whole cliche, if I told you before the season, you'd probably take it. But what's the temperature on Satterfield with this fan base going into this game?
Well, it's funny because he was on the hot seat coming into the year, and then when we were rolling, hot through the Big 12, we're hearing that from, some CBS podcasts or whatever. They're saying that, maybe he'll up and leave. And it's every week with this coaching staff, to be completely honest. I am somebody that liked the direction of what, he's been doing. I like that he's focusing on the transfers rather than high school, development. He's somebody that's leaning into how the game is being played right now, which I'm a fan of. We're a transfer-heavy program. You look at our best players; they're all transfers. So it's not like you can look at our high school class and be like, well, where's the future? He's gotten it done in the portal. We got Sorsby out of the portal. We got Joe Royer out of the portal, Evan Pryor, Jake Golday. Dante Corleone's really our only, hometown guy. He's actually from Cincinnati. He's going to be back. We beat our win total on the year. He'll be back. I would find it hard to believe that he gets fired, even if we do lose these next 2. The fan base, man, it's tough. It really is, because we're coming off of making the college football playoff when it was a 4-team playoff under Luke Fickell. And here we are in the Big 12. We've had no success except for some this year. But again, you face the top teams in the Big 12 and you lose. So we're just such a middle of the tier, middle of the road program when it comes to the Big 12. And people just want more. And, I don't blame them.
Yeah, can't blame them there. I will say this, BYU fans, the last time that they traveled to Nippert Stadium was in 2016. I think these times for Cincinnati are much better than those Tommy Tuberville days when he's arguing with Cincy fans leaving in the tunnel. That was last time BYU visited Cincy. What can BYU fans that are traveling to the game expect from Nippert at night?
Oh, man, it's going to be, despite the loss against Arizona, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. I mean, we got big noon kickoff coming to town. Historic Nippert, there really is something about it. They say it every single time you play Cincinnati that opposing fans are probably sick of hearing it, but it is a historic venue, and it really feels like it. It's a small stadium, which I know we get clowned on a lot. You know, it only seats like something about 50,000 fans, but it really is just an awesome venue. It's right in the heart of campus. Everybody, honestly, that's one thing I really enjoy seeing when people, take to social media and they talk about their experience at Cincinnati, is that they always say that our fans are super nice, genuine people. I feel like we're a welcoming fan base. There's not a lot of animosity between Cincinnati and BYU. Now, of course, we'll see after Saturday's game. So I think that people will have a good experience. You know, it's a good tailgating spot. There's a lot of good food in town. You know, Nippert's it's something special, Nippert at night. We don't get it enough, and it's going to be an electric atmosphere.
Can't wait for it on Saturday night. And last thing for you, again, talk with Nick Niehaus, Chatterbox Bearcats podcast. If Cincinnati gets this done, what will be the biggest, catalyst behind Cincinnati getting this victory if they take down BYU?
It's going to sound cliche, but it's really going to be coming down to Brendan Sorsby. I mean, you look at when he's playing well, Cincinnati's playing well. And then when we lose, obviously you look at the stats. So, and they're not there from Sorsby. So I think it comes down to our best player really being that, proving to everybody that he can play against tough competition, because, you look at the best teams we've played this year and he's kind of, had a duck game every single time. So I think it really comes down to that. We got to scheme Joe Royer open, man. He's our number one pass catcher, and he had one target against Arizona. So I think it's just getting the job done. It really is. Like, honestly, this is a team that I was really high on, obviously, going down the stretch. And, we're seeing a lot of what happened last year where we lost 5 in a row to end the season. So I think it comes down to leadership, and it starts at the quarterback position.